Hello friends, today we will learn the question bank of the chapter 3 Our Changing Earth of Geography. The Earth's crust consists of several large and some small, rigid and irregularly shaped plates or slabs which carry continents and the ocean floors. These plates are called the lithospheric plates. Features of lithospheric plates are: lithospheric plates move around very slowly, just a few millimeters each year. The movement of these plates cause changes on the surface of the earth. Question number 2. Explain the forces which are causing different kind of geologic landforms on the earth. The forces which act in the interior of the earth are called as endogenic forces, and the forces that work on the surface of the earth are called exogenic forces. Endo means inside and exo means outside, plus genic means origin. Endo plus genic is equal to endogenic forces and exo plus genic is equal to exogenic forces. There are two types of Earth's movements: endogenic forces and exogenic forces. Endogenic forces are of two types: sudden forces and diastrophic forces. Sudden forces are earthquake, volcano and landslides, and diastrophic forces are building mountains. Exogenic forces are erosional and depositional. Example: river, wind, sea waves and glaciers. Question number 3. What is a volcano? Explain its parts. A volcano is a vent opening in the earth's crust through which molten magma erupts suddenly. Magma chamber: molten rock beneath the earth's surface. Vent: an opening in the earth's surface through which volcanic material escapes. Lava: molten rock that erupts from a volcano that solidifies as it cools. Crater: mouth of a volcano surrounds a volcanic vent. Ash: fragments of lava or rock smaller than 2 mm into size that are blasted into the air by volcanic explosions. Gases: a cloud of ash formed by volcanic explosions. Question number 4. What is an earthquake? How does it occur? Explain it to major parts also. When the lithospheric plates move, the surface of the earth vibrates. The vibrations can travel all around the earth. These vibrations are called earthquakes. The place in the earth crust where the movement starts is called the focus. The place on the surface above the focus is called the epicenter. Question number 5. Explain the instruments which are used to measure the earthquake. Seismograph and Richter scale. Seismograph is the machine by which an earthquake is measured. Richter scale is the scale by which the magnitude or the intensity of an earthquake is measured. Question number 6. Briefly explain 3 major movements on the Earth's surface resulting in different landforms. The landscape is being continuously worn away by two processes, weathering and erosion. Weathering is the breaking up of the rocks on the earth's surface. Erosion is the wearing away of the landscape by different agents like water, wind, and ice. The eroded material is carried away or transported by water, wind, etc. and eventually deposited. This process of erosion and deposition create different landforms on the surface of the earth. Question number 7. Briefly explain different features formed by a flowing river. The running water in the river erodes the landscape. When the river tumbles at steep angle over very hard rocks or down a steep valley side, it forms a waterfall. As the river enters the plain, it twists and turns, forming large bends known as meanders. In due course of time, the meander loops cut off from the river and forms a cut-off lake, also called an oxbow lake. As it floods, it deposits layer of the fine soil and other material called sediments along its banks. This leads to the formation of a flat, fertile floodplain. The raised banks are called leaves. The collection of sediments from all the mouth forms a delta. Question number 8. How do erosional and depositional activities give rise to coastal landforms? Explain. The erosion and deposition of the sea waves give rise to coastal landforms. Sea waves continuously strike at the rocks. Cracks develop. Over time they become larger and wider. Thus, hollow-like caves are formed on the rocks. They are called sea caves. As these cavities become bigger and bigger, only the roof of the caves remain, thus forming sea arches. Further erosion breaks the roof and only walls are left. These wall-like features are called stacks. The steep rocky coast rising almost vertically above seawater is called sea cliff. The sea waves deposit sediments along the shores, forming beaches. Question number 9. Briefly explain the work of ice. Answer. Work of ice. Glaciers or rivers of ice to erode the landscape by bulldozing soil and stones to expose the solid rock below. Glaciers carve out deep hollows. As ice melts, they get filled up with water and become beautiful lakes in the mountains. The deposits made up of materials such as rocks, sand and silt form glacial moraines. Question number 10. What kind of features are formed when wind blows in desert areas? Work of wind. An active agent of erosion and deposition in the desert is wind. When the wind erodes the lower part more than upper part, then mushroom rocks are formed with wider top and narrow base. When the wind blows, it lifts and transports sand from one place to another, forming hill-like structures known as sand dunes or sand hills. When the wind carries very light and fine grains of sand over long distances, known as lows. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a great day.